everybody know that we are going to record this presentation just so that we have a copy of it in case there's still some other students out there that would benefit from seeing it that weren't able to join us for our second do-over. Just that way they get the voice with the slides as well, because we do go over quite a few things that are not bullet pointed in the slides. So thanks again so much for joining us, and we are going to get started. So just in terms of keeping informed and up to date, I know that many of you are getting your information from the Google Classroom already. We're going to ask that if you know of any friends out there that are in grade 12 that seem to be a little bit lost, a little bit out of the loop, please take a screenshot of this, write down the code for them, share it with your friends. It really is the best way to stay current with what's going on in terms of guidance and things that you need to know moving forward. Questions. In all likelihood, you are already sitting there and you have some questions that you want to ask. We are also available at the end of the presentation to answer any of your questions. Please make sure that you are putting your questions in the chat, and we will answer them as we go where it makes sense. Things that are maybe really quick single sentence answers that we can type back. Otherwise, we will be doing all of those questions at the end of the presentation. We'll go through each and every one of them with you. Okay, booking an appointment with us. Some of you may be a little bit unsure as to whether or not you can still see us, because I know that COVID is kind of a strange time for all of us. It's definitely a strange time for us. Yes, absolutely, you can still book appointments with us. Please do. We are still here to help you. We have lots of ideas that we want to share with you, and we have lots of information that we want to share with you. So of course, please continue to send us emails, but you can also book appointments. Appointments right now are over the phone. So when you do click on those links in the slide deck, you do need to make sure that you add a telephone number where we can reach you, because appointments will be over the phone continuing for the time being. Hey, upcoming events. We have a lot of events coming up to help you prepare for your post-secondary pathway. We have a few that have already been completed, and this list is now actually out to date. I did post on the Google Classroom a few days ago some additional presentations that are quickly approaching as well. So again, make sure you're checking back for the Google Classroom for additional updates. Ontario Virtual Fair is the next upcoming presentation. That is the college fair. That's going to take place on November 4th from 4 till 8 p.m. And it's going to take place again November 5th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you are a student that's potentially interested in college, or maybe you are interested in university as well, lots of colleges offer university degree programs as well. I would highly recommend that you link in and check it out. Other just kind of updates and important things to know. PINs, some of you have already started to take a look at applications for college, and then you've gone on, for those of you that are also interested in maybe applying for university, and you're taking a look at that OUAC site and how to apply. You do need a PIN number. Those of you that are planning on applying to university, they are coming. They are on their way in the mail. They should arrive to you about mid-November, so you cannot apply until you have that. Okay, so you need to wait for your PIN numbers. Those of you applying to college, you don't need to wait. You can start right away. I will get to that a little bit more shortly through here. Finally, last but not least, continue to check the Google Classroom for updates. Community service hours. So here's a new and important update for those of you grade 12 grads. Grade 12 grads, 20 hours of volunteer contribution is all that you need to do for this year. If you've already done more than that, awesome, you're on your way. If you've already done your 40, you are a phenomenal human. Thank you for being so responsible and organized. And thank you so much for all the time you've given back to our community through that volunteer work, but you only need to do the 20 in order to graduate. So if you have completed these hours, they're already done, but you've got a piece of paper and you're not sure what to do with that, please make sure that you email that to your guidance counselor. Those of you that have scanners, great, scan a PDF for us. Those of you that have a phone that you can take a picture, great, take a picture and send us the picture. Okay, important updates just as it relates to post-secondary and COVID. Colleges and universities all have their own COVID updates and guidelines for students to follow. It is super important that each of you are taking a look at the colleges or universities that you are planning on applying to for their COVID guidelines and updates. Okay, everybody is doing things that are a little bit different right now, so you need to go straight to those websites. Please, please, please. Don't just listen to what your friends are saying out there. You need to go to those websites on your own, do the reading for yourself. Okay, so each of those colleges and universities, again, the information is on their website. If you're still not sure, reach out to admissions directly for each of those schools with specific questions. All right, so now that is kind of the housekeeping part of the presentation out of the way. We are going to get down to the pathway planning portion of the presentation at this time. So why do you need to plan? Well, if you don't have a plan, success is really a lot more difficult. Success, as we all know, is more than just having money. It's about living a purposeful life, finding something that you're passionate about, and then really making the most of your future. So viewing progress, it's really important that you are checking your graduation plan and your graduation indicator. Currently right now, because we are busily rebuilding the timetable, your My Blueprint, when you log on, is only going to show the 2 courses that you are currently taking. Okay, so when you do log on to check your graduation indicator or graduation tracker, right now it's not going to be accurate. So I would just advise you folks to take a look at what courses you had on your timetable that you were planning on taking. Those courses are going to come back to us, so don't worry. But take a look at the courses that you had in addition to the 2 that are shown on My Blueprint when you're counting up to make sure that you have enough credits to graduate and all those sorts of things. If you have specific questions, of course, email your guidance counselor. We're happy to take a look at your overall graduation tracking indicator just to make sure you're on track. So feel free to send us an email. We will take a look at it on our end. Okay, so of course, other things that you need to be aware of when you're taking a look at your My Blueprint are your group categories. So making sure that each of those are completed, group 1, 2, and 3. Again, some of this information is likely to be missing, so reach out to your guidance counselor. We can do that double check for you. Additionally, you need to make sure that you have completed the Ontario literacy requirement, either by taking the test or the OLC course. And then, of course, finally, your 40 hours of community service, now knowing that, that some of you will only need to do the 20 if that pertains to you. Okay, so options after high school. For many of you, you may want to just be taking a look at doing some work after high school. You may be thinking, you know, I'm kind of done with the school thing for at least right now. So the benefits of working right after high school, you're going to get some valuable career exposure and opportunity to see what a particular career is like, which is going to help you make decisions about your future. Responsibility, we could all use some of that from time to time. Real work experience, of course, teaches us responsibility, how to show up on time, you know, get a job done, and those sorts of things. Educational value, the experience and knowledge to help you better prepare for college and university. And of course, the last benefit here is there's a lot of jobs out there that will help to pay for college, university, if that's what you are looking for moving forward. They want educated employees, so there are lots of great opportunities to have an employer help you pay for some of those things moving forward. Okay, so how are you going to get some exposure? How are you going to find a good job? There's lots of opportunities. I'm not going to go into all of the details. These links are available for you on the slide deck, which has been posted to the Google Classroom already. Make sure that you have an updated resume and cover letter for applying for jobs. Okay, apprenticeships. So benefits, of course, you can earn while you learn. There are over 140 skilled trades in Ontario. 90% of that training is practical on the job. So if you're somebody that really benefits from that hands-on learning where you're actually learning by doing, this is a great option for you. Where only a 10% of that is going to be more theoretical in class, reading through books and, you know, writing stuff down, that kind of thing. It's going to take you 2 to 5 years to complete. Okay, so options to help you get connected with apprenticeships, of course, through co-op and the OUAP program. So those of you that are currently taking co-op or looking forward to co-op in the future, if your placement is connected with one of these apprenticeship trades, you can, of course, start your OUAP. Talk to your co-op teacher, send your guidance counselor an email, and we can help facilitate that for you. Pre-apprenticeship programs at college. So lots of colleges are offering these programs for you. And then, of course, direct entry via the employer. Okay, for those of you who are interested in pursuing college education, why would you do this? 26 colleges in total throughout Ontario with over 900 program and career choices. There is also joint college and university programs. So earlier when I was talking about some upcoming events, we have a college degree panel that's coming up. I will post those details again to the Google Classroom after this presentation so that you are aware of those upcoming dates. But lots of colleges now offer university degrees. So you can kind of get both. It's a double dip. You can get your diploma and a degree at the same time. Who wouldn't love that? So hundreds of diploma, certificate, and degree programs, I already said that. Shorter program length and lower tuition cost. Okay, so admission requirements. Those of you planning on applying for college, you must have your grade 12 college or university English. That is a non-negotiable course. So if for whatever reason that one is not showing for you, really important that you email your guidance counselor and we get in contact with you right away to take a look at how to support you to move forward with this school. Okay, you also will need your program-specific courses. So when you're taking a look at some of those college programs, some of them will say, for instance, that you need college math. That means you have to take college math at the grade 11 or 12 level, if that's what's required. And then, of course, you need a mix of grade 11 or 12 university, college, or mixed courses. Okay, so there can be a combination of any of those. Okay, so application procedure. So this one, as mentioned earlier, this is already open for you. So those of you who are interested in applying to college, you can already go out, do the research. Once you know what programs you want to apply for, it's open. You can go ahead. It opened on the 20th. So feel free to start applying now. You're going to pay $95 for your application. You are then going to wait once you submit your application and it's all finished, you will wait for offers of admission from the college. These will come out between February and May. They are going to look at your grade 11 and 12 marks in order to give you that offer of admission. May 1st, 2021 is your deadline to confirm offers of admission. Okay, so you also have to let colleges know. So let's say you get 3 offers of admission, you have to let them know which one you're actually going to pick. Okay, again, as mentioned earlier, the Ontario College Virtual Fair is coming. I would highly recommend that everybody attends. Even if you're thinking you might want to go to university, attend the College Virtual Fair as well. Like I said earlier, they offer degree programs. Tuition cost is lower, so it doesn't harm you any to take a look. The link for the virtual fair is in this presentation, and it is also posted on the Google Classroom for you. Okay, again, this is what the ontariocollege.ca website looks like, and it's really straightforward. You click the Apply Now button. Now, deadline. College folks, your deadline is February 1st, 2021, okay? This isn't like your regular Fletcher's Meadow deadline. You know, sometimes your teacher says, oh, it's due on Friday, but we'll actually take it on Monday or Tuesday. This is an absolute deadline, okay? So if you are really interested in going to college for a particular program and you want to start in September, you must make sure that you apply by the February 1st deadline. Okay, university. Why would you want to apply to university? What is the benefit? We've got 21 universities in Ontario. We have campuses in 33 different communities across Ontario, 90 different undergraduate degrees that you can choose from. Also offer general degrees, which is 3 years, or your honors degree, which is 4 years. And lots of programs have co-op as an available option. And a lot of the time the co-op is paid. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. Okay, university folks, your admission requirements are quite different. So ENG4U, which is your grade 12 university English, that is your have to have course. You must have that one. You also must have 5 other grade 12 U or M level courses. This makes your 6. Okay, so you have to have a minimum of 6. One of them is always English. You must also have program specific averages, okay? So your averages are calculating using your top 6 grade 12 U and M level courses. That includes English again, and any program prerequisite, okay? So what that means is if you're planning on applying for a particular program that says to you, you have to take grade 12 physics, for instance, they will look at that physics mark. Okay, so, and that goes for any other program prerequisites as well. Okay, so some universities also have extra requirements. Okay, the university will communicate many of these with you directly once you apply, but some of these things may include personal statements. So they may want you to write like a little essay about, you know, why you want to be a part of that particular program. Auditions. So if you're applying for, let's say, a music program, there's often auditions for that. Sometimes there are specific tests that they want you to do, and portfolios. Okay. ESL students, if you are an ESL student with us here at Fletcher's Meadow, or if you have taken ESL courses throughout your high school career, so maybe you're not an ESL student this year, but maybe you were in previous years, you need to be prepared that you may have to write an English proficiency test as part of some of these additional requirements. So check the university websites first. So if you're planning on applying to, say, University of Toronto, check University of Toronto's website in regards to this, but this is mostly just for your information to be prepared that you may have to write one of these tests if you took ESL along the way here at Fletcher's Meadow. Okay, application procedure for those of you planning on applying to university. You are going to apply at ouac.on.ca. Your PINs, you cannot apply until you have this PIN number. They are being mailed to your home this year via Canada Post, okay? They should arrive, our understanding is, from OUAC mid-November for you. You're going to choose 3 programs. You're going to pay $150. Can you choose more? Absolutely, you can. It is an additional cost of $50 per program. You also will then wait for your offers of admission from universities. Pretty similar in terms of university and college. You're going to start to get some of those offers between February and May. Changes incur a cost of $50 as well. So if you decide you want to change a particular program or something like that along the way, they're going to charge you $50 for that. Some programs also have supplemental fees attached to them. There is a link on OUAC for a guide for programs that will have supplemental fees. Okay, application procedure. Acceptances are based on semester 1 finals and semester 2 midterms. Now, this is where things get a little bit murky for us. And as mentioned earlier, it's really important that you check specific program websites for how they are using your marks to inform acceptances. Okay, because every school that's out there is doing something that's a little bit different. So please, please, please check all of these university websites. If you're not sure, call admissions for these universities and colleges. Early offers of admission. So we always have lots of questions around this, like early acceptance, early acceptance. Lots of universities send them out as a recruiting tool for undersubscribed programs. Okay, sometimes they send these out as early as December. Quite typically for highly competitive programs, you will not receive an early offer of admission. Okay, they usually are waiting till they see a lot of those prerequisite course marks before they send out any offers of admission. All right. So I wouldn't be too preoccupied about, you know, oh, my friend just got an early offer of admission and I didn't get one. Don't worry about the early offers of admission, folks. The majority of students, like I said, will receive acceptances a little bit later in the spring. Okay. So just hang tight. Don't panic. All right, now when you are applying on the OUAC website, super duper important, kiddos, because otherwise you will have to run around and get all of your own transcripts. you must apply as a 101. It says right on there, current high school student. Make sure that that's how you apply. Okay, the next couple of slides, there's a whole group of tutorial videos on how to help support you apply through OUAC. So please take a look at those videos moving forward to help you with your application. There's one on reviewing, making changes, responding to your offers of admission, and how to log in for the first time once you get your PIN number. You also have a non-negotiable hard deadline for your application, January 15th, okay? So please, please, please do not wait until January 14th to start putting together your applications. We have all had that experience where websites are, slower the day before something is due. Don't leave this to the last minute. You'll just stress yourselves out. Please apply with enough time that you know that you're going to meet that deadline. Okay, portfolio information. I briefly mentioned this earlier. There are several programs that are going to require students to create a portfolio. Okay, so now typically these are art-based programs. Please double check your additional program requirements for portfolio details. If your program requires a portfolio, you need to make sure that you are starting to work on this as soon as possible. All right, so if you are a student in the arts program, and you check the website and it says, yes, you need to do this portfolio, I would really recommend that you connect with either one of your current art teachers or maybe a past art teacher. They can really help walk you through a lot of the portfolio elements. But schools will also have a portfolio checklist for their programs right on their site. Okay, so if you need to do one of these, print off the checklist, start to take a look at it early. Financial information. This is just a brief kind of general, what is this ballpark going to cost you? We do have a full presentation for you folks coming up on how to help you finance post-secondary education. So this is brought to us from one of our college partners. She was here with us last year. Her presentation is fabulous. I would really recommend that you save the date for this one. It is coming up in November. I will post that again today on the Google Classroom. Please make sure you save the date and plan to attend. All right, scholarships. The financing post-secondary presentation goes over this at great length. We do have some links both in this slide deck and also on the Google Classroom for you to start taking a look at. All of the guidance counselors here highly recommend that you guys start to do some research and apply for scholarships. There's money out there that really doesn't take that much effort on your part to get. There's companies that want to help fund your education. So please start doing your research. Take a look at some of these scholarships. If you have questions, send us an email. We're happy to help you. Okay, something else that some of you may be interested in is applying for OSAP as well. Right now, you cannot actually fill out the application because you must have accepted a program before you can actually confirm it. But you can certainly take a look at the OSAP website, and they do have a little calculator that you can take a look at filling out ahead of the actual application to kind of get an idea of what you might be eligible for. Again, I would really recommend that you check this website out. If you are thinking that you are going to apply for OSAP, check it out well in advance of when that application will be open in the spring. Okay, more information. We're, of course, on Google Classroom. That's where we have lots of information, but we do also have information on our Fletcher's Meadow Secondary School site. We are located under Student Services. And of course, once again, please join the Google Classroom. Code is here for you. Just give it a second there in case some of you are scrambling to take a picture of it again. No scrambling? Okay. All right, at this point, we are going to turn it over to Q&A. Mr. Martisek is going to help us out here with some of our Q&A. So please, if you haven't already done so, get some of those questions in the chat, and we are going to answer your questions at this time, live and in stereo.
Is Guelph Humber open or not? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so the question is Guelph Humber open or not?
I'm not sure I understand this question.
I don't understand it either. Could you elaborate, please?
Our applications open, college applications were open after October 20th.
Okay, so are they accepting applications at this point? I think they're still running. You apply through OUAC for Guelph Humber. So the pins, as Ms. Badger had mentioned, the pins haven't been sent out yet. So once you get the pins, then you can proceed and apply to Guelph Humber.
Does anybody else have any questions?
So to be clear on the Guelph Humber is considered in the OUAC University. Humber, the college, the Humber College is opened up already. So you can go, as Ms. Badger showed, in the ontariocolleges.ca platform. If you get an early acceptance, you need to maintain. Yeah, so different schools all have different requirements that they expect you to maintain a certain average. It could be an overall average that they expect you, or an individual course can't drop below a certain mark. So let's say, for example, and I've seen this in an offer, that you have to maintain an overall average of 75 with none of your 6 courses dropping below 70%.
How many universities should we apply to? So the answer is you can apply to as many as you want. What's included in your application fee is 3. Okay, so you get 3 choices. That will cost you $150. Anything that you do above and beyond that 3 will cost you an additional $50. So I know that Mr. Martisak previously has had a student that he helped take care of in his alphabet who applied to a whole ton of different universities, and he ran up a huge bill for his parents.
It was last year. He applied to 37 universities, so that would have cost him close to $1,000.
I'm not good at math. Hang on, wait, I've got a calculator. That would have cost $1,850 for that application. So I would really advise you to be very careful. So certainly, can you apply to, if you really can't narrow it down to 3 and you really want to apply to 4 different universities, sure, go for it. Have those conversations with your parents. Make sure that they're aware. Well, I mean, they should be aware of what you're doing anyway, but have those conversations with your parents as well.
This is where you do your research. You're not going to, if your overall average is 82 and you're applying to a program where they say the expected average is 95, well, that's not going to happen. So I hope to get in, and add that on as an extra application might not be the wisest choice. So this is where you do your research to see what the best programs fit with what you're bringing in your average. So 3 should be enough because you can only accept 1. So there's no need to, if you do your research, instead of throwing money at the problem, do your research, see what the averages are. 3 would be more than enough. Can we apply to 3 programs in each university? Sure. It just costs money. So you can apply to 3 and at the same university. What you might see is some universities, not all of them, and again, this is Ms. Badger said, if you have questions, we can tell you something, but it's best to call the school directly to ask them what their policies are. Admissions is always fabulous if you call them to ask questions. But let's say you apply to York University for the business program, and they might say, well, we didn't accept you in the business program, but we'll give you an alternate offer in the I don't know, arts program. So some schools might give you alternate offers. One question: how many art colleges should you apply that require portfolios, since each portfolio is unique? Once again, that's you'd have to contact each school. Some art colleges require very detailed portfolios. For example, Sheridan College in Oakville, their animation program, Sheridan says you probably should work on your portfolio about 6 to 8 months prior to applying. We're doing 2 courses at a time. We do not necessarily know our average, so do we just kind of predict and apply? Well, you have a good idea of what you did in grade 11. Grade 11 averages, usually you're in the ballpark, right? So you should have an idea that where you are with your average. And I'm going to ask Miss Badier online, is there an opportunity to change your course without it costing money, like changing your mind within the school? Let's say you pick a program at University of Toronto, and then you amend it to a lower average program at the same university.
That would be a question that I could certainly reach out to OUAC directly. I want to err on the side of no. Almost anything you do after you hit yes, submit is likely to cost you money in the OUAC.
I'm not sure either. I'd like to say, I think you're right, but I'm not.
But sure. I can certainly, I have to call them again today about something else unrelated, but I will certainly ask them that question as well.
It said it's included in the 150 to apply to each university, and then 3 programs in that. No, it's just 3 programs. So if you apply, you pay $150, you apply to U of T for health sciences, arts, and philosophy. Those are your 3. So it's not 3 universities plus 3 programs. What are the requirements for OSAP? Being a graduate, going to and then form, and then seeing what the government they'll look into finances, what you're asking for, how much money you need, and they'll make that determination.
Great questions, folks. We are probably going to look to wrap up in the next little bit here. Certainly, if you have more questions, please continue to put them in the chat. If you don't have any other questions at this particular time and you're like, yeah, I'm good, thanks so much, Miss Badier, Mr. Martisek, Mr. Powers, like high fives, you totally answered all my questions. Feel free to leave the call at this time. If you want to stick around for a little bit longer, feel free to do that. But if we don't have any more questions, we'll probably look to end the call at about 10 after 1. That'll give those of you who are learning online time to get to your class. I know that starts at 1:15.
If a university program has no additional requirements, do we just, I can't see, hold on. Do we just send them art grade 11 and 12 grades? So the university program, again, let's take, for example, you apply to McMaster for philosophy. Their requirements will be English for you plus 5 other U or M courses, grade 12.
So then the second part of that question, that's part of that fee that you pay for OUAC. So you don't have to send the universities anything. That is an automatic upload straight from Fletcher's Meadow to the OUAC website, where universities can then access your marks. So that's you don't have to do any of the transcript things. That's why it's really important for all of you folks to apply as a 101 student, because that means that you don't have to do any messing about with transcripts.
And would they look at grade 11 marks? Of course, it's there, so they could look at the grade 11 marks as well. But I think a lot of their decisions are based on your grade 12 grades. Now, this is a unique year with the quadmesters, and I don't, Miss Batty or Mr. Powers or I don't even know how it will work out for these quad 4 courses. No direction has been given to us. So just, you guys try, what you can do is just do the best you can in your courses. And that's all you can control. Do you need, what does this say? Do you need a, I'm assuming transcript, okay. Wait, do you need a transcript to apply for colleges? You don't need to send the transcript. Similarly, we will send its transcript electronically to the Ontario College Application Service. So you don't need to send one. A transcript will be sent. And sometimes students will get emails when they apply to college. Please have your high school send a transcript, or please send a transcript. It gets done electronically. And I think the message that the colleges usually send out is they send it out to all Ontario students.
Oh, goodbye, Alex. Have a good day. I think Alex might have already been gone. Well, folks, if there's no other questions at this time, oh, here we go.
If the university program says a specific course is recommended but not required for their program, and I did not take the recommended course, should I still apply for that course or not? Yes. So I think so. Some courses would say, let's take for example, I think it's like a health sciences. It might say that calculus is recommended but not required. But the expectation is that you will be taking calculus in first year university. So are you comfortable with taking calculus for the first time in your life in your first year university, is what they're saying. Is we recommend you take it so you have a little bit of knowledge, but we're not going to include that in the required 4 courses plus your required 6 courses. So that's totally up to you.
Yeah, I've had students in very similar situations to this. I totally hear what Mr. Martusek is saying here, because you don't want to be doing calculus. This is your first time doing calculus or something of that nature. So I've had students in the past get their acceptances for those programs, and then they'll actually take those courses in summer school if they're offered. Then that way they have like a low stress way of doing that course. They don't have to worry about the mark in it, but they still get the learning that they're going to need for university.
So, and I'm pretty sure calculus is the one course that I've seen the most that they recommend for students to take. So if there's another course that you've Drew, that you are thinking of, or maybe you can mention to us offline or even here in the chat, please let us know.
All right, everyone. I think at this point, we're probably going to look to end this call so everybody can get back off to their afternoon on time and still have a little bit of time left to have a snack and those sorts of things. Certainly, if you have other questions that maybe you think of a little bit later, send us an email. We're happy to help you out. And just know that we're only a phone call away as well, right? So if you want to have a follow-up phone conversation with us, just send us the telephone number that we can reach you at your home, and we will certainly follow up with a phone call. So thanks again so much for joining us today. I'm so glad that we could do a do-over. We're so sorry that some of you weren't able to make it to our first presentation, but glad that you're here with us today. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Take care.
Bye.